Looking ahead to the Springboks game against Samoa at Villa Park in Birmingham, which is another football field with a very small in-goal area but a wonderful surface, so you can play really fast, attractive rugby. But what I'm hoping for, the Springboks have got to win, because if we go back to our last two Rugby World Cup games, it's been a complete disaster. In 2011 in Wellington, we had the quarterfinal against Australia, which was the Bryce Lawrence game, when the Springboks were blown off the park. And then we get into the next World Cup, and our first game is against Japan, which is meant to be a stroll in a park, and it turns into Pearl Harbor, a disaster. So I think the Springboks have got to get their heads around and just win this one. Win is more important than entertain. Can the Boks play a better game? Obviously they can play a better game. I believe when they play Pollard and Farida Priya, they'll be shorter, they'll be harder on the advantage line, that their attack will be better. I really have my doubts about Jean de Villiers. He's a great guy, he's an enormous inspiration, he's a good leader, but I don't think he's got it at the moment. Very badly injured knee, 9 months out of the game, then a broken jaw. He looks like he's lost weight. He really doesn't look like he belongs on the field. And that is a tough decision that's going to be made, because you could then have a line of Farida Priya, Pollard, Dialendi, Jesse Creel, Brian Abana, JP Peterson, and Billy Ruru at the back. Now that's a very good attacking backline, but then you need to know that your forwards can get to the perimeters, because if you let the ball go wide, it could be against you. It could be the kind of move that doesn't suit you. So I fear that instead of trying to play a more adventurous game, that Heineke Meyer might drop back to playing the old Blue Bulls game, the game that we know very well, and try and suffocate teams. But what he's got to be very careful about, the laws have been tweaked slightly. The IRB, now World Rugby, they want a spectacular game. So referees have been instructed, and it was so in 2011, don't hold the ball in the forwards for very long. And you can hear the referees. They come in very quickly and they say, play the ball. That's number one, play the ball. They want the ball out there. They want the ball moving. And that doesn't suit us, because we want to be mauling the ball, rolling more, and we want to give our scrum half, if it is Farida Priya, a nice steady platform to really time his kick and get the distance of his kick correct. So that kind of rugby that Heineke is edging back towards, because I sort of wonder, why is Morné Steyn there? Well, why did he pick the two young fly halves and then also pick Morné Steyn? It is almost as though he wanted a backstop. And my belief is that we might actually see them fall back to a more conservative game, a game that we know very well, especially against the game coming up against Samoa, because Samoa love to run the ball, but they hate the tough stuff. And the times we have beaten Samoa is by pulling them into the tough stuff, because that's where you wear them down. They love to hand it out, but they don't like to be taken it. So we might have to see that, and we might have to live with that. That at the moment, what the Springboks need to do, they need to beat Samoa. We've got a defeat that we didn't expect, and we pretty much have to win our next 3 games if we're going to get out of the pool stages. And what I'm thinking they're going to do, instead of leaving the ball out on the perimeters where we were really badly exposed, we're going to play a very tough, closely knit, conservative game. Lots of pressure, maybe even win it with penalties.